Welcome to English Lab. This presentation is about verb tense consistency. Here are some basic rules of verb tense consistency. In English, there are only two tenses that are created from only the main verb, the simple present tense and the simple past tense. The other tenses are all created with the help of other verbs called auxiliaries. Here is a table showing common verb tenses. As you can see, in the left-hand column we have the aspect, simple continuous perfect or perfect continuous. And then we have this divided into present, past, or future. You can come back to study this slide anytime you like. Once you are familiar with how to form the basic tenses in English, let's look at how to use them consistently and clearly. This is very important for successful writing. Generally speaking, you should be using one main verb tense in each piece of writing. You create changes in the time frame by changing tense while using your main tense as a foundation. Do not change from one tense to another if the time frame does not change. For example, yesterday I finished my assignment and today I started a new one. In this case, although one event happened yesterday and one event happened today, they both happened in the past, so I can just use simple past tense to explain both of them. You do change tense, however, to show a change in the time frame. For example, Paul is very proud of his results, which he worked very hard for. What this means is, Paul is proud now, in the present, because he worked hard in the past. In this case, to make my meaning clear, I do need to change my tense. Past perfect tense requires changes in tense. In English, we call the past perfect tense the past of the past. It is used when you are describing more than one event in the past, but only if it is unclear which event happened first. For example, here's a sentence. The plane left when we got to the airport. I have simple past for both of these verbs, so it sounds like both events happened at the same time. However, this is not my meaning. What I mean to say is, the plane had already left when we got to the airport. In this case, my meaning is, the plane left before we got to the airport. Before we got to the airport, the plane had already left. The plane had already left when we got to the airport. I need to use the past perfect here, otherwise it will not be clear which event happened first. Conditional tenses also have specific rules for changes in tense. For example, in the second conditional tense, if John attended class every day, he would understand his assignments. The structure of the second conditional is if plus simple past tense plus would plus infinitive. In the third conditional, if I had concentrated better in class, I would not have failed my exam. The structure of the third conditional tense is if plus the past perfect tense plus would have plus the past participle. So when you're using conditional tenses, you will have to change the tense, because that is just their structure. Continuous tenses also often require changes in tense. For example, as Debbie was walking to university, she dropped her books. It is necessary to change the tense here to show the meaning that a shorter action happened at the same time as a longer one. Debbie was walking to university. This is a longer action. Maybe this took her 10 or 15 minutes. She dropped her books. This is a short action. It took only a second. So the short action happened at the same time as the longer one. She was walking, and while she was walking, she dropped her books. In this case, we have to change the tense to make that meaning clear, that they happened at the same time. This is the end of our verb tense consistency presentation. Please return to English Lab for more presentations.